Mr. Stearns.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. The gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Dingle, indicated that we're not working with him. Let me remind him that the piece of legislation in the nature of a substitute was given to us 1 hour ago. Now, the original draft that came out was about 750 pages, and then that wasn't too long ago, and then they had 285 pages of additional text that they added again without any support or any knowledge of the minority. In fact, the entire bill before us today is merely a placeholder, my colleagues, to help hide the true cost of the majority's 946-page cap and tax scheme that was unveiled, as I mentioned, less than an hour ago. With our nation, my colleagues, struggling into the worst economic crisis in 70 years, the majority should not be risking further economic damage by forcing through this committee a hastily crafted and incomplete carbon emissions mitigation scheme that essentially amounts to over 2,000 energy tax on every American family. The intellectual architects of the cap-and-trade tax plan acknowledge higher energy prices would result from emission caps, especially if we do it alone in this country. This will force manufacturers and small businesses to absorb the cost of higher energy prices, which they will do by raising prices, cutting costs, by laying off employees, or simply closing their doors. And that's precisely why various members of the majority have been working feverishly behind closed doors to secure hundreds of billions of dollars in free allocations for industries within their states and in their congressional district. We should all be concerned, my colleagues, by a legislative process that essentially uses the allocation provisions in this legislation to reward members and industries for their support. Now, the Democrats call this cap and trade. We call it cap and tax. The real name for this is bait and switch. The Democrats in a lot of these districts were against this bill before they swallowed the bait and now have switched their support for this bill. Renewable energy programs should be based on customer demand, regional differences, and appropriate incentives, not on unrealistically federal mandates that selectively penalize electricity consumers in certain regions of this country. Any meaningful effort to achieve long-term sustainable reductions in global greenhouse gas emissions will depend on the development and deployment of the new energy technologies, including clean coal technologies and carbon capture and sequestration. The rapid development, demonstration, and widespread deployment of such technologies are of paramount importance in any reasoned and effective effort to address climate change concerns. The expansion of nuclear power production in the United States must also be part of any realistic legislative package to address carbon dioxide reductions. It is simply not realistic to include nuclear energy. So, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to the markup.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stearns.